Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm in our A through Z playthrough. Today we have landed on Murky, who had an incredibly exciting beginning of the year. In about February of this year, I believe that was the time anyway, he received an expansive rework. Everything in his talent tier was touched in some way, everything was altered in some way, and it felt as though Murky was on the rise to the top. Because Murky was on the rise to the top, he was way overtuned, he was dominating every game that he was in, and he was just an ultimate force to be reckoned with. You could not escape Murky. This little face was the most terrifying thing in the Nexus. So what we saw was this same extremely strong talent tier that opened up a variety of options was slowly tuned back. So for instance, things like Egg Hunt not giving as much vision off of each egg, the slow of slime being reduced. Pufferfish can be attacked by towers and spells now, where they used to only be attacked by used to be killed by auto attacks. And just things like this. And by a rejuvenation bubble lost 10% healing. And it was just these small little changes, small little incremental knobs that they turned to kind of put Murky back into a healthy place. And we haven't seen anything since then. His last update was at the end of March, I think, at the end of March. But that being said, I just looked at HotS logs, and for some reason, Murky is the 5th highest win rate right now. Murky is rising to the top. And I'm not quite sure why. I just did a warm-up game with him and finally golded him out, hit level 15. It's been a while. But the enemy team had a Genji and a Li Ming, and, well, I hope I don't have to explain to you why that was very difficult to deal with. I have been, this is the Wednesday after the 24-hour charity live stream, just to give you guys some context on how far ahead we are on videos right now. I'm trying to release one video every day until the A through Z video series is done, because if we miss too many days, we're going to be pushing into 2018 at the rate that we're going, which is not something that I want to do. I don't want that at all. So we are trying to finish this off, but I am so, I feel so bad still. I have a cold, I've been taking NyQuil, I've been taking Dayquil, but I went to bed at midnight and woke up at 4:30 this morning, so I feel totally out of it. But hopefully this goes well nonetheless. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on Warhead Junction today. The friendly team Murky is Sergeant Hammer, D.Va, Alexstrasza, Tracer. The enemy team Falstad, Alexstrasza, Valeera, D.Va, and Zu'Jin. Alexstrasza has been in the game for 1 day as of the time of this recording. Hi team, good luck, effort. We are going to go for a fishy deal at level 1. This is Murky's version of Bribe. How he gains stacks is pretty unique to Murky. It requires you to last hit minions with your W ability, with your pufferfish. And your pufferfish is basically a mine that you throw out that will deal damage after a few seconds. After those seconds pass, it'll explode. Anything in the area may die. In most cases, the pufferfish never actually goes off unless you're by yourself or in the middle of a super hectic team fight. We're gonna drop our egg right here and kind of hope for the best. Sergeant Hammer is sieging away here. I'm gonna walk into tower range, take a couple hits, and then use our E ability to get out of here and just try to relocate before we die. Now, Murky has 760 health at level 1, which I hope I don't have to tell you is not a lot of health at all. But you can actually do some pretty cool things with that health, like a regen globe all of a sudden feels like the biggest thing ever. Whoa, there's 4 people down here in the bottom lane. You think they know where my egg is? I hope they don't know where my egg is. Our egg is how Murky respawns. You'll notice that when we died, it was only 0.25 of a kill, which means we give a quarter XP to the enemy team when we die. And we can respawn at the location we deemed suitable for us by putting our egg down there. Now, this is something on the map that the enemy team can actively kill if they decide to do so. We just need to dodge the hammer here. There it is. And then put our pufferfish down. Let's hope he doesn't focus it. He's kind of focused it. He kind of knows. The early game for Murky is something that can be extremely difficult. Because he has such low HP, most other characters can win the lane versus him with really not much effort exerted by them at all. But the trick is to, number one, accept the fact that you're going to die, and number two, play around the region globes. Only go in when you think you can kill the mage and then sustain a fight from that point onward, and that will help your chances out a ton for living through things. I did pop the safety bubble there really early. I was expecting him to use that hammer right away, and of course he did not. Looks like Falstad will be getting the nuke in the bottom lane. I'm trying to over predict and play around him, and obviously I just need to stop doing that. Now with that nuke, he can put a lot of pressure on my structures here in the bottom lane, but we already have one application of slime on him, so all I have to do is get another one, which of course I missed. Feels bad, man. Feels really bad. Let's just weaken that back line up a little bit, get a few more pufferfish last hits, and then deal with this accordingly. We are going to go for Living the Dream here at level 4. This is my favorite talent in this tier because it improves all aspects of Murky's gameplay, and all you have to do in return is stay alive for about 45 seconds. Every 15 seconds, we're going to be gaining 5 spell power, which means we can scale up quite effectively in a very short amount of time. And as the game progresses into the late game, it's actually very, very easy to stay alive on Murky. It's extremely difficult in the beginning of the game, extremely easy in the late game, especially if you get to level 20 and you could pick up some really, really strong talents. Now, that being said, we are investing in the late game right now, so we are weak. We didn't go for, power right now. We went for power later. But Living the Dream is completed. We do have that unlocked. So we do hit for, 45% more damage right now? It's a lot of damage. We're going to drop our pufferfish, try to use our rejuvenation bubble. She played that well. She focused my pufferfish instead of focusing me. See, I went in with the idea of trying to play around the region globe in lane. Go in, distract her, say, hey, focus me, I'm right here, you could do it, I believe in you. But really our objective is simply to get the region globe and move on. But it is not that hard to get those stacks of Living the Dream back. And if we decide to go for March of the Murlocs, that is, Living the Dream is going to be increasing the damage of that as well, which is something that I think is very important. This time, I just put the pufferfish down with the intention of sitting here and trading, casting that slime damage, and just winning the engagement like that. If we don't give her the ability to generate too much energy off of us, then we are going to be completely okay. Living the Dream once again done again. We're just going to throw the pufferfish down. As we're about to die, we would hit our rejuvenating bubble, but she actually didn't focus us at all, so we'll just get the globe. And then we can keep trading, boys. We can keep trading. We did grab the sippy cup, so we do have a little bit of health reserves here. Once we are able to get that second bribe stack, I want to steal their mercenary camp over here and have that pushing. Just add a little bit of pressure to this enemy team. D.Va is going to be pretty hard to shove out of this lane, though. At level 7, we did pick up Time to Krill, which is an auto-attack slow for Murky. Allows him to control the battlefield quite a bit, actually. It's pretty impressive. We'll go ahead and interrupt that. I don't think I can stay, however. We could just keep harassing. Yeah, there's another slime application. Kind of dart away from her. Re-engage over here, get another slime application. Trying not to overcommit, trying not to take too much damage, but also trying to show her that Snook's mine. You can't have it. Let's put our pufferfish down over there, make her focus on that. Now, we do actually have a pretty significant amount of health regen, so if we can continue to delay the objective like this, we can actually get away with quite a lot. We'll go ahead and force that D.Va back. Try to grab this right now, and I think she will interrupt us. But not before I put that down to try to zone her back. That was actually a lot of damage. I'm not sure if she could actually see that or not. It may have been in the smoke, stopping her vision from actually picking up on it. Go ahead and use March of the Murlocs here. This will keep her at bait for sure, unless she rotates around over here. And if she does, we have a pufferfish to throw down. So she kind of has to pick and choose how she wants to engage here. She is going to have enough energy for her mech very soon, and she can actually charge into us and kill us right now, which we are trying to avoid, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. So she played that well. She didn't overcommit, even though I was trying to zone her out in every possible way. It looks like the game is pretty even so far, though. Both teams very even on XP. We'll go ahead and set up for the wave clear here, but oh, never mind. We actually got a fair amount. I was going to say I don't think we're going to get much, but went better than I thought. Went way better than I thought. So time to krill, how it works is you simply auto-attack a hero, and every time you auto-attack them, it is going to be slowing them by 7% for 4 seconds, and this stacks up to 5 times. This slow amount was nerfed. It was changed from the rework, but it's been the same since, since that nerf. They haven't touched it anymore. Hey, baby girl. She might be in a lot of trouble here, actually. Or we're in a lot of trouble. Oh, isn't it enough? Isn't it enough? Yeah. Now, of course, trading there is okay, because if we die, it's 0.25 XP. If she dies, it's 1. Or is it 5? Is it 0.5 for a mech and 1 for her? I think that's how it works. Now, of course, we didn't need bribe to take that camp, but it's just a way of quickly taking that camp and then moving over here to quickly take ours and have this pushing the bottom lane. Looks like Tracer is having some fun with the enemy team's Tazdingo there. The rework for Murky kind of changed how March of the Murlocs is used. Before, it was only a sieging tool. Now a lot of people view it as a team fight utility more than anything else. The trick with this particular build is when you want to use March of the Murlocs, you want to be in a position where you're flanking the enemy team, so they're not expecting you to be there, and then use March of the Murlocs in the path that they would have to go to retreat from the battle. So you're kind of cutting off the retreat. These Murlocs are all just walking down the lane, slapping everything in their way, and you are able to deal quite a bit of damage. And if you have your Living the Dream stacked up, remember that's scaling the damage of your March of the Murlocs quite well. I'm going to ping for some assistance here since our team is really close. I would really like to take this mercenary camp over. Looks like Falstad knows we are here. Oh, that was scary. I'm just going to hit Valir here. We have time to krill up. She's going to be able to re-stealth momentarily, and she would be able to kill me. I kind of want to stay here, however. We can just immune out of that. If Sergeant Hammer was helping us, we would have been a lot better off. I was going to say we can just immune right out of that nuke. But I thought we, have a little bit more help. It looks like he was just kind of AFK pushing that building. That's unfortunate. Now that we're back in the bottom lane, though, this is a very easy opportunity to once again be by ourselves and start to generate that Living the Dream quest stacks back up. Also, we have ample time to just stack up our bribe again and continue to apply pressure on other sides of the map. Murky's pretty good on big maps like this because if he dies, he can just immediately start split pushing something else, which can be pretty effective and pretty strong. I'm not going to deal much damage to the enemy team here, but we could certainly try to distract them. March of the Murlocs was on cooldown. It doesn't look like we'll be able to pick up any kills as a team there. But I will just try to get this camp and get this moving in the right direction in the bottom lane. Try to keep that pressure up. The rest of our team currently up in the top lane. I'm not really too sure what they're doing. Maybe cleaning up that mercenary camp that we lost. But certainly time to rotate and defend something else. Our egg was just killed by the Alexstrasza down in the bottom lane. And this puts our egg on a, I think, 15-second cooldown. And during this time, the enemy team can see me. This exclamation point above my head means that they know exactly where I am, exactly where I'm going, and they can see me on their mini-map. But once that goes away, we can simply put down our egg and get that 0.25 XP penalty when the enemy team kills us and respawn at that location. Okay, so we do have Rejuvenating Bubble now at level 16, which is or level 13, which is a great time that Murky starts to scale up quite aggressively. I don't think she's going to be able to finish her off, unfortunately. Oh, that wasn't our Alexstrasza. Wait, that was our Alexstrasza. I'm confused. I'm really confused there. That didn't make any sense. There was just a bunch of circles on the ground. Let's see if we can deal any damage to this Tazdingo of the enemy team. I'm just going to go ahead and put March of the Murlocs right here, as I think the enemy team is going to continue to fight here. And if they do, this is going to start to add up for a lot of damage. Notice how much damage we're dealing to the enemy team's Alexstrasza there. It's quite substantial. Now, March of the Murlocs is on a 100-second cooldown, so you want to make sure that you're using it at the right times and usually over an objective there. But I really did feel like we were going to be contesting that a little bit more. Sergeant Hammer, once again, AFK pushing in the bottom lane. Hammer, you can let me push. We need you in team fights. Because suiciding over forts is a really bad idea. Especially when you give full XP. We definitely need to back up here. Great recall. Did allow her to dodge that shock and awe from the enemy team's Falstad, but did put Tracer right back into the middle of the enemy team. We are going to go for Toxic build up at level 16, which is going to allow us to get a free application of slime whenever we auto attack someone 3 times within a short duration. Now, by doing this, it means that our Living the Dream scales up technically our auto attack damage at that point, because if we auto attack someone, we're getting free slimes. We can still cast slime like normal, and that means we can Q once, auto attack 3 times, and get that critical hit slime off of our auto attacks now, which increases our chances of getting another critical hit with our Q and continuing to auto attack someone. So it's a slippery slope of a lot of damage. With Rejuvenating Bubble, we are able to stick to targets a lot more than we were able to do before as well, which makes it even easier for that damage to scale up, and makes it even easier for us to chase people down and deal a very substantial amount of damage. The enemy team looks like they want to push through here. We have all of our stacks of Living the Dream, so we're going to throw our March of the Murlocs straight into the enemy team there. You can see as Tazdingo is trying to run away, he's getting bombarded by Alexstrasza, and we're also dealing a large amount of damage to him as well. I want to kill this diva here. It looks like she is going to be hopping into her mech though. And we definitely need to remove ourselves from this area. We should be able to rejuvenate one more time. I'll try to run to safety here. I'm really confused by what this fucking Sergeant Hammer's doing. It looks like she got a nuke. Here, I'll get my stacks here. Beautiful. Like, did you even nuke it? What do you do? I'm so fucking confused. You're so fucking confusing. We do see the enemy team's diva here. We don't know where the rest of the enemy team is, so we can assume that they're not too far away, especially if she's boosting away to something. We might be able to slow her down though. Alexstrasza has popped up behind me. Missed our slime, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to dismount her, but the team is a little bit of a disarray here. That nuke that diva just fired in the middle lane did kill my egg, but that mercenary camp we took right before all of this nonsense started was actually able to push down that top wall for the enemy team, so that's a really good pickup for us. I'm definitely leaving. We're going to give them that camp. It looks like we're going to get a full death here because our egg was down. 2 bot. Push hard. They have ample time to finish off this keep, especially if the enemy team tries to stay and finish off this objective that I started, this mercenary camp that I started, which it looks like they are indeed doing. So, Sergeant Hammer sieging up to kill a wall. The boss is doing some good work up there, and they are going to nuke that keep and get that kill. Good job, team. Ooh, they don't need to do anything else, right? Like, that boss just has it, I believe. Yeah. So, go ahead, back up. Sergeant Hammer getting hit by that diva nuke, but using first aid to ward off a little bit of that damage. Creative use of talents, you know? You never know what talents are going to be used for these days. I feel like I'm picking on Sergeant Hammer a little bit, but, you know. Call it like I see it. Call it like I see it. Looks like we overstayed our welcome in the top lane of this mercenary camp. Didn't get too much done down here, so don't feel too bad about losing it. If you don't put your egg down again, what happens is your egg actually just spawns in the base for you, so you'll notice that my egg is actually just chilling in the spawn right here. And we can choose to move this up on the map to a more aggressive spot whenever we feel like it. I am going to make my way over here and bribe this camp away from the enemy team, just to get a little bit more pressure down here in the bottom lane. The friendly team does have 1 nuke to our name, so we can still be aggressive when we can still push something. We just need to wait for our whole team to be alive before we can do that effectively. The enemy team has, however, just hit level 20, which means they do have that storm talent advantage. Hey, baby girl. Don't mind if I do. This should be a pretty easy kill between Tracer and myself, and it looks like we are going to take down the enemy team's Valeera. There is, however, a team fight happening right behind us. I'm just going to grab this regen globe before I enter. D.Va trying to exit out of the bottom of the lane here, taking a lot of damage from the minions. I need to make sure that, well, I was trying to avoid that particular interaction entirely. I was going to say, if we see her firing her ult, I need to make sure that I rejuvenation bubble over that, or safety bubble over that, to make sure that she doesn't hit me with it. Let's just slow down the enemy team here to the best of our ability, and we're going to go for Big Tuna Kahuna, which is going to increase our HP significantly. And this is what we were waiting for. We are now a team-fighting monster. We're a split-pushing monster. We're a monster in just about any category that you can be a monster in this game, because we have a ton of HP, we deal a ton of damage, we have a ton of slows, we can stick to targets like crazy, we can heal ourselves like crazy, and we can stick in team fights longer than most other characters that have a normal HP bar. What Big Tuna Kahuna does is it increases our health and respawn time. I thought it would say a little bit more than that, team. I was really expecting more. But that's all we get, I guess, from that tooltip. This should be a pretty easy kill on D.Va now, especially if she already used her boost. I believe she did. God, I'm so slow. There we go. She's slowed. She is going to combat roll out of that, but she is taken down. We are grabbing the nuke up top. We have our 15 stacks of Living the Dream, and this is the part of the game where we... What? Oh, sorry. My bad. I thought we had... I didn't know we had 2 here. Okay, I picked it up. This is the part of the game where it all kind of comes together. Living the Dream is difficult to protect in the early game, but now that we have increased health and we have Rejuvenation Bubble, we can stay alive no problem. We do need to push while we have a little bit of an advantage here, but we have 3 nukes and we need... Hey, bud, what are you doing? Just come hit the core. Just come hit the core. I'm going to go ahead and throw out my nuke here. We will March of the Murlocs this as well. And as Dingo is moving forward, I'm just going to put my egg back here because I want to respawn right here. We're going to be really aggressive. Valeera does see me, and she is going to be moving in, trying to take me down, but of course that doesn't work out too well for her. Dingo has spotted the egg and was able to kill it in a single spinning axe. That's crazy. I had no idea those axes did that much damage, but we can now use this as like a means to bait the enemy team into engaging us. We actually have the advantage here number-wise, but if they think they can kill Murky, well, we would have had the numbers advantage if our hammer stayed, let's put it that way. But if they think they can kill Murky, oftentimes teams will way overcommit to engagements when they quite simply just don't need to. The enemy D.Va does once again use her nuke. We won't be able to take her down, but we could try to push into them now that she isn't going to have a lot of energy. Maybe switching over to Falstad would be a better option for us here, and I'm going to go in and start doing that. We do have the regenerative bubble ready to go if we need to reposition. D.Va! There we go. Nice kill from the friendly team, and I'm actually going to push in really aggressively here. I don't have a way to heal, but I do have my egg right in this location, so we'll be fine. Sergeant Hammer has lined up the BFG, and instead of killing the core, is now killing every building on the map. Is this what it's like to play this early in the morning? I'm really frustrated. I'm really frustrated. During most of the game, our hero damage was laughable. In fact, in most cases, during the early parts of the game, it was non-existent. But now that we've reached the end game, we can come in here and trade with just about anyone that the team has. Can't help but notice that we're in a little bit of trouble here, though. Gonna go ahead and pop March to the Murlocs, try to reposition back this way so we don't get taken down. Let's go ahead and use our bubble. I guess just run top, right? Or do we just core here? I think I'm just gonna core here. The enemy team's ignoring me, I don't mind. We almost have catapults in range. Falstad just noticed I was here. But we got the rejuvenative bubble to keep us alive, keep us healthy. And while they're distracted by me, they're not clearing the waves, so that means that we're going to get some free core hits in here. There's the BFG. It's now focused on the core, so that's going to be doing some good damage there. They were not able to find my egg, even though it wasn't in a bad... I mean, it was in a good spot. It's just sitting out here in the open. Falstad is moving down here, though. Maybe we can catch him. But he does have barrel roll, so I shouldn't engage too hard. And he should know exactly where my egg is now, or at least the enemy team should have a decent idea. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it back. We'll put it right here. Still, well, never mind. Valeria found it. I was going to say, still a relatively aggressive spot, but we can hide it a little bit. We can't put it down for another 4 seconds, though. Hey, baby girl. Welcome. I don't need to cast spells to deal damage to you. You know that, right? Sorry, I guess you didn't know that. We're motherfucking Murky. We're the monster that lives under your bed. This is the part of the game for me where Murky just shines. He's such a squishy character in the early game, but when you get to this point, you can keep living the dream up, no problem. You could trade into most heroes. They never expect the amount of damage that you're actually dealing. It's so much fun to play. Such a good time. We do see Alex Straza way overextended here as the core for the enemy team is being taken down. My voice is still shaky, team. All right, looks like that's going to be GG. Sorry if I was overly salty. Like I said, I'm really out of it today. I didn't sleep very well. I get grumpy. I'm only human. Did I say GG? There we go. So, that's Murky. Pretty fun. I am curious to know why you guys think his win rate is slowly been on the rise. The same thing kind of happened to Kerrigan, where Kerrigan wasn't receiving any changes for months and months and months. But then we see Kerrigan's win rate slowly rise. 1 or 2% of the time. And then Blizzard addressed that with just some little tweaks, and it seemed like it normalized again. Murky seems to be on the rise. Murky seems to be on the up and up. I wonder if they're going to actually adjust anything, or if they're okay with the Murloc in his current state of the game. I'm not sure. So this is my build for Murky. Feel free to try anything you want here. The Pufferfish build certainly has its place. Octograb is great for comboing with that if you decide to go down that path as well. But we did pick up a fishy deal into Living the Dream, Time to Krill, March of the Murlocs, Rejuvenating Bubble, Toxic Buildup, and Big Tuna Kahuna. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.